Subtest 8, Strength. The strength subtest is designed to measure trunk and upper and lower body strength and is an important component in a comprehensive measure of motor skills because strength is an essential component of gross motor performance in many daily activities. Conduct this subtest using the portion of the running course from the examiner throwing line to the end line and the wall. Item 2 has two options, knee push-ups or full push-ups. Do not administer both options. Rather, based on the examinee's performance on the other subtests and your previous knowledge of her abilities, choose either knee push-ups or full push-ups, whichever is more appropriate. When reminding the examinee of proper form mid-trial, use simple reminders that allow the examinee to continue with the task while listening. For example, during sit-ups you could say, "Keep your feet on the floor." Before administering each item, teach the task to the examinee using verbal and nonverbal directions as necessary to ensure understanding of the task. Item 1, Standing Long Jump. The examinee stands just behind the end line with her feet about shoulder width apart. Then the examinee bends her knees and leans forward, swings her arms back, and jumps forward, swinging her arms forward and landing on both feet. Use a tape measure to measure from the end line to the examinee's heels. If one foot lands behind the other, measure to the heel that is nearest to the end line. If she stumbles or falls backwards, measure to the examinee's hands or other part of the body that is nearest to the end line. Conduct the second trial only if the examinee stumbles or falls during the first trial. For each trial administered, record the number of inches, rounding down to the nearest inch, that the examinee jumps forward. For example, if she jumps 27 3/4 inches, round down to 27 inches. Item 2A, knee push-ups, and Item 2B, full push-ups. For knee push-ups, the examinee kneels down on the knee pad and leans forward to put her hands on the floor. The examinee's hands should be directly beneath her shoulders. Then she crosses her ankles and raises her feet off the floor. The examinee's back and neck are straight, and she is looking at the floor. She performs knee push-ups each time lowering toward the floor, bending her arms to at least 90-degree angles, and then pushing back up until her arms are straight. For full push-ups, the examinee kneels down and leans forward to put her hands on the floor. Her hands should be directly beneath her shoulders. Then the examinee places her toes on the floor and straightens her legs so that just her hands and feet are on the floor. Her back and neck are straight, and she's looking at the floor. The examinee performs full push-ups each time lowering toward the floor, bending her arms to at least 90-degree angles, and then pushing back up until her arms are straight. An examinee's form often improves as push-ups are performed. If she struggles to obtain proper form, allow her to begin push-ups and start timing. Count only the push-ups that are performed with proper form. Record the number of correct push-ups performed, either knee or full, in 30 seconds. If the examinee tires before 30 seconds have elapsed and is unable to continue, allow her to stop and record the number of correct push-ups performed to that point. Item 3, sit-ups. The examinee lies on her back on the floor with her arms at her sides and palms down. Then the examinee bends knees to a 90-degree angle, placing her feet flat on the floor. She performs sit-ups, each time raising her head, shoulders, and shoulder blades off the floor, reaching for her knees, and then lowering her body back to the floor. The examinee does not need to return her arms to the floor between sit-ups. If it helps her, you may give her a target to reach for when performing sit-ups. For example, holding your arm or the knee pad just above the examinee's knees. Record the number of correct sit-ups performed in 30 seconds. If the examinee tires before 30 seconds have elapsed and is unable to continue, allow her to stop and record the number of correct sit-ups performed to that point. Item 4, wall sit. The examinee stands with her back against the wall and feet flat on the floor. Next, the examinee walks her feet out 2 or 3 steps, keeping her back against the wall. Then, she lowers into a sitting position by sliding her back down the wall, bending her knees to a 90-degree angle, and crossing her arms across her chest. Note that the examinee's weight should be resting on her heels, not her toes. Begin timing when the examinee attains proper wall sit form. Record the number of seconds to the nearest tenth of a second that the examinee maintains proper wall sit form up to 60 seconds. Item 5, V-up. The examinee lies face down on the floor with her arms extended forward, her legs extended behind and her feet touching the floor. Then the examinee raises her head, chest, arms, and legs off the floor. Her shoulders and knees must be raised at least 2 inches off the floor. Begin timing when the examinee attains proper V-up form. Record the number of seconds to the nearest tenth of a second that she maintains proper V-up form, up to 60 seconds.